to order. This is a regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Seaside Park in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, held on Monday, April 14th, 2025, advertised to begin at the conclusion of the work session meeting, which has just now ended moments ago. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of the meeting for publication to the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 3rd, 2025. Notice of the meeting of the governing body also has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilmember Anfield?
Present.
Councilmember Condos?
Here.
Councilmember Connor?
Here.
Councilmember Kraft?
Here.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Here.
Council President Wilk?
Here.
Mayor Pearson?
Here.
Thank you.
Let us all now rise together for a moment of silence to be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda for action seeks approval of the minutes. Those are the minutes for April 3rd, 2025, a work session, April 3rd, 2025, a regular meeting. Any questions, comments from council, or if not, a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
And I'll second it, Mayor.
second by Council President Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
I was absent, so I'll abstain.
Thank you. Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next, seeks the approval for the special meeting minutes, that too for April 3rd, 2025, an executive session. Any questions, comments, or if not, a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Councilmember Connor,
I'll second, Mr.
and roll call by Councilmember Amabile. Roll call.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Abstain.
Thank you. Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item on the agenda are ordinances. First is first reading and introduction. It's ordinance 22509, amending and supplementing ordinance of the Borough of Seaside Park, fixing and determining salaries and wages of certain officials and employees. Any questions or comments from council, or if not, a motion for first reading?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Rotunda,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next is also first reading. It's a first reading and introduction ordinance 2025-10, amending section 293-6 of the Code of the Borough of Seaside Park entitled Boat Slip Rental Permits to amend the waitlist procedures for the marina. Any questions, comments, or if not, a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second it, Mayor.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next are authorizations. I'll read in summary fashion. The first is Encompass Health, a fundraiser walk for Parkinson's disease, Saturday, April 19th, 2025, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., Boardwalk, J Street to 2nd Avenue. The second is Union Church Easter Sunrise Service, Sunday, April 20th, 2025, 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., location 5th Avenue, Ocean Beach. The third is National Multiple Sclerosis Society 5K Walk, Saturday, April 26, 2025, 5 a.m. to 2 p.m., Lot 2 Boardwalk from Lot 2 to 12th Avenue. Next is Bike MS Coast to Coast 2025. The date, Saturday, May 10th, 2025, time 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., location Ocean Avenue from Porter Avenue to 14th Avenue, 14th Avenue and 13th Avenue area. Approval, if granted by the council, would be conditioned upon a county permit. Any questions, comments from any council members on any of the authorizations?
I have a comment on item A, fundraiser walk for Parkinson's disease. The certificate of liability insurance does not name Seaside Park as a certificate holder or officially insured. And I know Mr. Toth had sent an email to them for an updated COI to include that language, but it's not here, so I don't know if we're still waiting for something from them. So it should be conditional.
Yes,
With that.
absolutely. Any other questions or comments on any of the authorizations? If not, I would entertain a motion as a consent agenda with, of course, the conditions on A, that a valid updated certificate of insurance naming Seaside Park be submitted, and on D, that approval would be conditioned on a county permit. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Kraft with those two conditions,
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
second by Councilmember Amabile. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Condos,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
motion approved.
Next are payment of claims, 225-153. It's approving payment of itemized claims as set forth on the check register bill list for the period of time April 4th to April 14th, 2025. Any comments from council, or if not, a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second it, Mayor.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Abstain, I did not see the bill list.
thank you. Councilmember Condos,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
You
Sorry.
said yes for me. I say yes also.
sorry, thank you. Council President Wilk,
Yes, please.
motion approved.
And next are the resolutions. I'll read in summary fashion. 154, approving the designated calendar year 2025 amusement games license applications. 155, authorizing the adjustment of designated water sewer utility accounts. 156, appointing seasonal employees for the Department of Beach Control. 157, authorizing the Borough of Seaside Park to enter into a cooperative pricing agreement. 158, appointing Class 2 special law enforcement officers for the calendar year 2025. 159, appointing special law enforcement officer trainees for the Borough of Seaside Park. 160, authorizing the adoption of the revised lightning emergency action plan as per the discussion prior meetings and in particular the work session. 161, authorizing membership of the volunteer fire company. 162, authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract to Integrated Technical Systems, Inc. for the maintenance of parking kiosks. 163, authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract to Capella Construction for the 14th Avenue Stabilization Project. 164, authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding with OPEIU Local 32 AFL-CIO for water collector stipend. Any questions, comments from council members on any of the resolutions? Hearing none, I'll go into the audience. It's our practice to allow comments on resolutions that are not required by law. And if anyone has a comment on any resolution, if you could give your name and address into the record. Seeing none, I would close the public portion and I'd entertain a motion as a consent agenda from council for the resolutions.
Make motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Condos,
I'll second, Mayor.
second by Council President Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And that concludes the resolution and the written agenda. Does anyone else on council have any other announcements, reports, or the like? I'll turn over to Council President Wilk.
Yes, Mayor. I have the Public Works Committee status report. Lead pipe survey. So far, we received 1,100 responses out of the 1,862 water services, roughly 60% response rate. Construction office, 45 permits issued in March totaling $14,346. The code office, we received 563 rental applications in 2025 and 541 inspections completed. 88 inspections failed at a 16% failure rate and would require reinspection. Stockton Avenue improvements. Black Rock Enterprises complete with all the storm drains and will replacement of concrete curbs, sidewalks, and driveway aprons on 421. Concrete work is expected to be done in less than 2 weeks, and there will be at least 1 week of road work. All work is scheduled to be completed by May 9th. Field drainage project. Work began on Monday, April the 7th. The project must be concluded by May the 16th. 14th Avenue stabilization project was awarded tonight to Capella Construction. The contractor would like to mobilize within 2 weeks and anticipate the work to take approximately 4 days. Decatur Avenue tank painting, 1-year inspection by Brave Painting is scheduled on April the 29th. The internal projects, boat ramp, end of ramp sign in progress, will also paint roads around the end of the ramp and pilings as well. The water fountains were up and turned on along the boardwalk last week. Water main project on Ocean Avenue is complete and the side street paved by P&A. The county is responsible for paving Ocean Avenue, which is a county road. Lot number 3, south end damage section near the exit was saw cut for removal and prepped by DPW and paved by P&A. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Marty. Any other reports or announcements from council? Hearing none, I would go into the audience if there are any public comments on any matters. If you could give your name and address into the record. Yes, Mike?
Mike Spadafino, 59th Avenue. As a representative of the Environmental Committee, I am inviting everyone here to the presentation of Reclaim the Bay on Wednesday at 7 p.m. in this chamber. Light refreshments will be served. There's a few tchotchkes, you might get something, a really nice refrigerated magnet or something of that sort. And Mr. and Mrs. Abbeville may be making roasted pepper mozzarella sandwiches. I'm not sure.
Homemade mozzarella.
That's it, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Any other public comments? Yes, Faye?
Faye Herring, 21 I Street. I think I missed it when you were talking and you did all the elected resolutions. The schedule for wages and payments, there's a range there. And having come to meetings for many years and seen many of these, very seldom do the wages start at the bottom. It's always the middle to the top part. And some of those have doubled. And with the economy the way it is and the shape it is, I just feel that doubling that range is too generous on the council's part. That, the rest of us, the taxpayers are suffering, so why are we being so generous to our people? I mean, yes, it's very nice to be generous, but people are moving out of town because they can't afford to live here anymore. And I really don't want to be one of those people. Okay, so that's enough about wages, but do we know of when the county is going to do Ocean Ave? That's a horror to come down that road. Do we have any idea when we're going to be working on it?
You got the dates from my last, I read that off.
They haven't given,
Do you have that, Carol?
they haven't given us a firm date yet.
Okay, but I mean, it'll be done on Memorial Day, maybe?
Oh, the last one I spoke with the Ocean County engineer,
Mid-June.
yeah, they hope to start before Memorial Day, but they're going from Porter Ave to 14th Ave, they're paving the whole street. So,
They're building, they're going to mill the road, but the problem is that they need to use the parking lot supposedly in Seaside Heights, that one where the S-turn is, for staging area, because they can't possibly move that amount of material. It was delayed because we had to wait for them to go out to bid for the county, but also they need 2 milling machines to do it. It's a major area to pave. There was,
So it sounds like it might not be done by Memorial Day.
Oh, definitely won't.
no, we know it's not.
Pardon?
We know it's
Definitely
not.
will not.
Okay, so we know it's not, so we are gonna have to suffer the summer through with that road in the shape it's in?
No, it's gonna be done.
Mid-June.
It's gonna be done after Labor Day.
Memorial.
Memorial Day, in June, the month of June.
Okay.
but it is a county road, and
I know.
they have to do it, but I'm in regular contact with the county engineer, and they're not going to forget us.
Well, that's good, because we have all that parking space and the parking that we'll lose while they're working on
We're
this.
aware.
It's really a tough thing on us as a tourist town. So, all right, can't fight the county, I guess.
Thank you, Fay. Yes, Chuck?
Chuck Appleby, 215 10th Avenue, paving Ocean Avenue. I look at the bright side, we're not paying for it, right? They're paying for it, so that's a huge savings to the town. I was down at the 14th Ave, they did the cable crossing, the new one. Now we have 2 cable crossing signs. So I assume they're gonna take the old one down,
No,
they're gonna leave both up?
the cable's still there.
Oh, it's still there.
Even that, it's not to the, portion of that cable was removed, but since there's, the underground cable still exists in the bay, they need to leave that sign there.
Wow, okay.
I was surprised just as you were, but that was the answer given.
And I know they replanted there,
They did.
so it's already eroding away. The plantings aren't the greatest, but you can, before they leave, maybe they might have to redo a couple things or something.
We have a performance bond on
Yeah,
that.
that's
fine
great.
with them. Yeah, that's great.
And the sailboat that's located on the north end of town, now this is all Lake Avenue. That one, I heard the Seaside Heights, they're actually got an okay and everything, and they're gonna be taking it out and removing it. I thought that was in our property section a little, I know those lines up there are a little.
I couldn't quite tell. No, it looked
I
like
think it
real
is.
close to the edge.
Yeah, we're not surveyors.
I think it might be, but they're taking care of that boat within 90 days. They went to the state police and everything, and the police and got permission and everything. Maybe we could do the same for the other boat. And the owner of that one apparently lives in Seaside Park. So the other boat that we have now off of,
Roughly,
Island.
well,
Silversmith.
maybe that one we can pursue, so we don't have these eyesores all the time.
I
Every
had-
few years we have these.
I had given Lieutenant Fitzgerald the New Jersey registration numbers a month or so ago, and you can take it from here.
No, we've attempted to make contact, we're aware of who the owner is, we've reached out, in terms of next steps, we just wanted to have at least some conversation back and forth to see, obviously, they're aware of the status of their boat, but if they were making arrangements to remove it, or, further steps needed to be taken on our end, so it's just a matter of having a dialogue back and forth, we've been trying to track him down, we know who he is, it's just getting.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on anybody. The Heights seem to do a pretty good job of just forcing the issue a little bit. The other issue
You
we're thinking
can't
of.
touch somebody's property.
What?
I mean, it's somebody's boat, so you really can't.
Yeah, the
Go
boat,
into their
the
property.
boat the Heights is gonna put it in a dumpster was in actually excellent condition.
That's what I thought.
It had
It looked like it was a
a
good.
new, import engine in it and everything. I mean, it was in excellent condition.
Yeah.
And it just took a few months before it just deteriorated. One of the things Mayor Condos did years ago was he put in some post and rail fences right there where our property boundary is in the Heights. I thought it was there to show just where that line is. There's a post and rail fence there, put in a long time ago. I just have a recommendation. I've been seeing the encroachment into the northern area of the Seaside Park Yacht Club parking lot go into the estuarine wetland, which is vegetation. And now there are boat storage racks there and everything. And it is going, I looked at some aerial photos that overlay the property boundary based on state coordinates and everything. And that is now all onto outside their lease area, you know, that property line. But I think Mayor Cano's had a good idea. If we could just put a post and rail on the north and south, and there might be other parcels we have in town with parks and things. You know, we have these little pocket parks anymore. If we could just put up some post and rail fences just to define the area so people don't encroach. I mean, they really have been pushing it more and more north there. And their dumpster also moves south. But I think we have an area is the state park property over by the S-turns in the middle. You know, there's a piece of property there the state bought, and that could be turned into like a nice little park area too, with a little fence around. I'm sure the state would allow that. They're never gonna use it for changing the S-turns, in my opinion, in my lifetime. But that piece of property would be nice to have, with a little post and rail, a couple benches or something. You know, little parks, you know, Seaside Park, you know, so keep it at the park and park. All right, thank you very much.
Any other public comments? Yes, Edie?
Speaking of Edie Clay, 4811 Downing. Speaking of eyesores, nobody's brought this up for a while, so I just thought I would, only because I was up at the north end of town over the weekend. Desert Palm, any change on that property? I know it's litigation, are we getting anywhere? Is there anything anybody can say, or are we still where we were?
Still waiting for the Supreme Court to accept or reject the previous owner's petition.
Okay, I'm just glad I don't live up there and have to look at that. That's really a mess. But thank you.
Yes, Shirley?
Shirley Presley, 700 North Bayview Avenue. In the salary guide, and nothing is the police, please. How do you come up with those figures? Like, do you check around area towns and cities, or how do you come up with, like, the salary for a chief or a lieutenant? Did you just spin a wheel where it landed?
I mean,
Well, then how
I
do you
can
do it?
address that if you want.
Good, that's fine, Karen. I think I know the answer to that.
It's based on their collective bargaining agreement. So, which is expiring this year. And so the low amount is based on the top amount this year, because we know they're not going to go down, right?
Right, oh, absolutely.
And then there were some small increases factored in there so that this ordinance will live at least 2 to 3 years maybe. So, but that's.
Are benefits included in that price, or
Just
is that
salary.
above?
That's just salary.
Just salary, okay. And thank you so much for the report that you give now. And I know we used to get a police report that would say, you know, how much overtime, anything that happened. I know we can read on the law at Shoreby, but I was wondering if we could get back into that, because it was good to know a little more what was going on and how much overtime was being put in, because it really pulled it back for a while until COVID, not COVID, but Sandy hit. But it'd be nice to hear reports from the different committees, maybe from Recreation, what's going on, because you really don't hear anything.
Well, the lightning was all part of recreation and beach control. Same thing.
I know you had mentioned we were going to have different things during the winter, which I either missed or we didn't have any, but, you know, just a report saying, you know, we're working on this, or we're working on that, and maybe get ideas from the public on things to do in the summer that we haven't thought of, because there are people that have ideas. And then rental permits. Of course, I haven't been here in a couple months. The rental permits are going up again?
They are, for next year.
At one point, you had mentioned thinking about if it was a year-round rental, that we would go every other year. It seems like this gets raised quite a bit. I mean, it seems a lot of it, but have you given any more thought to that idea for the year-round?
The rate has not increased in a very long time, and they're finding that the building department, the code enforcers are finding that it's warranted because they're finding violations of life-saving items like smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors.
Okay.
That's the reason why. Egress windows are blocked. We felt it wasn't a benefit then.
Yeah, okay. And I read about the applying for this raising your home, put the money out. You know, that's like putting a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches. Our problem isn't raising our homes on the bayfront because of the flooding. It's getting to our homes. You can raise my home 50 feet in the air, but I'm not going to be able to get to it because we still have the flooding. So I was a little confused on where you're even looking at that, and I haven't heard any more about where we stand. I know you took photos about no eelgrass. Has that been pursued now? Mr. Mayor?
Has the eelgrass been pursued?
You took photos when we had the blowout, and I understand there was no eelgrass present, and that was what had stopped the project. So have we now gone forward with it?
Well, the eelgrass, the blowout tide, we took advantage, and many thanks to the county sheriff's department that gave us drone footage of the entire bayfront. And we use that as an example to prove what you were witness to. We had a walking actual meeting with Dr. Farrell, who was in the water, who demonstrated to the Army Corps of engineers officials who were in charge at that time. Regrettably, they often retire, move on, which happened in this case. And they all recognized at that moment that there was virtually no eelgrass, no SAV in the vast majority of the tract. In fact, we walked in the water and we could see it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some of the higher-ups then were replaced at that particular agency, and there's also an issue, I understand, indirectly with one of the head of NOAA. So those two agencies had never signed off on a final permit as to one of our applications, and that does entail the living shoreline. So we took advantage of this. I guess it was a record, never had been duplicated, and you could see it showed exactly what we walked, and we sent a letter. I sent a letter to the Army Corps to filter around through all their higher-ups and divisions, whoever's in charge, and it demonstrated just what Dr. Farrell had shown. And obviously in the winter when they're dormant, they're very small, but you can still detect if there is any SAV, you could detect it, and there was none in all that open acreage.
So we are now moving forward on it now that we have that to take our next step to try to.
We're moving forward, but as we speak, there's no final permit that's been issued. Apparently, one of those that's still at the Army Corps has given a different opinion than another individual at the Army Corps.
We haven't dropped the case. We are
no.
still pursuing.
No.
Okay. I'm still going to ask about selling N Street. I mean, I think you're killing us with the taxes. I realize there's projects, but you're killing some of us. We can at least make some money on N Street. We need to sell it before that window closes. I do not understand what the reason is for saving N Street as just an empty lot. I mean, the taxpayers paid for it. It belongs to all of us in this room. And I'd like to know why. I know there's a couple council people that are in favor of selling it, but what's your reason for keeping it? We could make money, and maybe it would help lower the taxes a little bit, or help fund something else we're doing. But it just sits there worth a lot of money. And when that lot was purchased, that was the idea, to turn around and sell it. And I know it went up for auction a couple times, I understand that, but the market wasn't like it is now. So I'm asking, please consider selling it. And if there's a reason why you won't, then we'll get a petition going around town, and maybe you'll listen to the taxpayers then. But I see no purpose to just keep it like that and not get some money back from it. Because our taxes are going to really be killing a lot of people.
Thank you, Shirley. Shirley? Any other public comments? Yes, Mike?
Mike Spadafino, I'm still at 59th Avenue. You didn't move? Just one thing, I was just driving a little while ago on around 14th Avenue where they did the work on the road. They raised the sewer grate up, and at night you could hit that sewer grate and do some damage to your car. So I would suggest they put a, one of those caution cones on top of that sewer grate until they do the repaving. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Any other public comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to close the public session and move for adjournment.
Well, Mayor, I just have one other announcement. Just a reminder, we'll be going back to twice a week garbage pickup next week. So pay attention when you put your garbage out, you don't want it blowing all over the place.
Good announcement. Anything else, or do we have a motion?
Make motion.
Motion by Councilmember Condos. to adjourn. Second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Condos? Yes. Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank everyone for coming out this evening.